Title: Storytime from the Collapse: How 2025 Took Us Backwards. Let me tell you a story about how America, once a leader in global health and science, started to dismantle everything that kept us safe. It all began when the Orange president took office and quickly redirected billions meant for medical research, weather safety, and national infrastructure into the pockets of private investors, especially those behind the country's newly built detention centers. While patients with cancer and HIV were left in limbo, unable to access clinical trials or life-saving medicines, that money was instead funneled into projects that brought back the darkest parts of America's past: the creation of concentration camps on U.S. soil. From hope to horror. The National Institutes of Health, once the beating heart of American medical progress, was gutted. Over $12 billion in funding vanished. HIV vaccine research in South Africa was shut down. Cancer studies were halted mid-trial. Laboratories were emptied. Minority and LGBTQ+ health initiatives disappeared almost overnight. Life-saving treatments were lost, not because they didn't work, but because the government refused to fund them. As hospitals and universities scrambled to salvage their research, the Orange president's allies expanded for-profit detention centers in the Florida Everglades. These weren't just jails. These were camps, migrants and non-criminal detainees packed into cages under 24-hour surveillance, drinking from the same sinks they defecated near, with maggots in their food and no access to lawyers. And the profits from these facilities? Redirected to donors, government insiders, and even the Orange president himself. Weather without warning. Meanwhile, hurricanes and tornadoes struck harder with no warning. Why? Because NOAA's climate and weather programs were defunded. Entire storm tracking systems were turned off. The U.S. Global Change Research Program was dismantled. Sea level rise, carbon emissions, flood modeling gone. When a storm hit, people died, not because it was stronger than before, but because they didn't know it was coming. With no early warning, families couldn't evacuate. Emergency responders were left blind. Lives were lost that could have been saved. The skies are less safe too. Up above, our planes began to fail more often. With airline safety programs defunded, mechanical checks became rare. Safety audits were delayed. Pilots reported near misses and equipment failures. People started to ask, why are planes crashing more? The answer was simple: the safety net had been slashed. Oversight had been stripped down in the name of budget cuts. But the real beneficiaries were the same investors getting rich off cages and chaos. A nation in reverse. All of this didn't just feel like a political shift, it felt like a time warp. Like we were being pulled back into the darkest corners of American history, when people were detained without cause, when epidemics raged unchecked, and when science was silenced for the benefit of a few. America had the technology, the knowledge, the infrastructure, and we gave it all up, for profit. This story isn't fiction, it's now. And if we don't speak up, it's only going to get worse.